Yeah.
So the question here from a client, we do this, by the way, guys. If you want to send us in your questions, anything around self-development, we'll do our best to cover it. I feel overwhelmed by the number and variety of things I want to work on. What are some strategies / the best way to prioritize these things?
So I'd split them into categories of things like health, relationship, mindset, business. Put them into different categories. And then mark each one out of 10. So mark your relationships, whatever, 8 out of 10. Mindset, 5 out of 10, whatever it is. No 3s and no 7s. And then you'll then see when you look at the results of that, which one is the priority, so which is the lowest one. So if it's relationships 4, right, that's the priority there. Then the priority for you is to work on your relationships. So then what is it inside of your relationships that needs to be worked on? Who with? Next steps. That's the priority for you right now.
Yeah, because we've said this many times before that you can have anything, but you can't have everything all at once.
No.
It's, I would say, impossible. If you look at somebody like Dwayne Johnson, he's massive, ripped, good looking, rich, successful by almost every metric. When he goes to do a film, and he's away for 6 months, in some cases they're doing 16, 17-hour days, I am certain that he's not being super dad.
No.
Even if his family's with him. I'm certain that he's not being as present as he'd like to be. So I go to the extreme examples for a reason, right? Because he will have, I would imagine, a private chef. He will have, all the other, he flies his gym around the world, for instance, right? But we're not Dwayne Johnson. And that's okay. When you bring it into the reality of the day-to-day, and people are working long hours, and they might have a couple of kids, and they might be carrying an injury and whatever. So yeah, that method that we follow is 1000% the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Because it just gives you an accurate representation of where you're at today, and where you're at today is okay. All the decisions that you've made, good and bad, have got you to this point in every single area of your life.
Yeah.
Some people go, oh, that's a bit harsh. Sorry, it's not. There are external things, right? There are. I've got a friend that's had to close his bar recently because the landlord has increased the prices so high, etc., etc. But he did choose to set up a bar. He's now chosen to shut it. It's going to be better financially for him to close it. Therefore, he's taken responsibility. The decision that he's made has become his reality.
Yeah.
So it applies to literally everything. And if we're looking at something as shit as that, you can probably apply it to kids didn't sleep well last night, so gym was a no-go. Okay, cool. And then it might be that you've put your back out at the gym, can't train for 3 weeks, so physically you can't get out and exercise, but can you eat healthily? Oh yeah, I can. So we've now made that 4 out of 10, maybe a 6, which is still progress.
Yeah.
If you're prioritizing the gym and diet and everything else, date nights might take a bit of a hit, so you might feel a bit more distance from your partner if it's going out to fancy restaurants. So that might not be exactly where you're at. So there's so many different moving parts, but I think that simple method of just writing it down in those 4 key areas, marking out of 10, following it and asking yourself, how can I make this a little bit better today? Not from a 4 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10.
4 to a 5.
Correct. It's not going to happen. So just give yourself that grace period. We'll see you next time.